Good morning students. In the previous video we had seen about your operational amplifier acting as an inverting amplifier with feedback. Now in this video we will be seeing the applications of your operational amplifiers. First application we are going to see is your operational amplifier as an AC amplifier there. So here what is meant by your AC amplifier? So generally what we are going to do is your AC amplifier is going to consist of your capacitor, a coupling capacitor. So coupling capacitor is, so suppose for example I am going to have a circuit like this. This is your first stage of your differential amplifier. So here in this case the output I am going to give it to the input, your direct couple we say. So here this is going to be one input, your V2, and this is going to be another input there. So here in this case the output of this is going to be fed back to the as input to the next stage there. So this is your second stage of your differential amplifier. So when I am going to give the output of this first stage to the second stage, I will be using a coupling capacitor. So the purpose of this capacitor is going to remove the DC level. So why we say that a capacitor is going to remove the DC level is, we know that the reactance of the capacitor is going to be 1 by 2 pi F into C. So here in this case for DC voltage, you know that there is going to be no frequency. So F is going to be 0. When F is going to be 0, your reactance, your reactive capacitance is going to be infinite. If the reactive capacitance is infinite, it will not allow any components there. So that we say that your capacitor is going to block the DC component. So when I am going to use a coupling capacitor in an AC amplifier, what we want to do is, mainly in your operational amplifier, when input voltage is 0, my output voltage should be 0 there. So how it can be achieved is, one way is by introducing a coupling capacitor between the output of one stage and the input of the second stage there. So when I am going to use it, this capacitor will block the DC components if any produced by the preceding stage there. So your AC amplifier, we have a number of applications. It can be used in an audio receiver. So your audio receiver is nothing but it is going to consist of a number of stages there. So when I am going to have a number of stages to be present, there are chances of DC voltages to be produced. So these DC voltages can be produced either by the thermal drift or the component tolerance or the variations in the parameters, that is beta of your transistors there. Because of this, the DC level can be produced. So to remove the DC level or to prevent the amplification of the DC level, we are going to go for your AC amplifiers. So for that we will be using a coupling capacitor, which is going to be used between the stages there. So where this coupling capacitor is going to set the lower frequency limit there. So how we are going to define it is, your FL is equivalent to lower cutoff frequency of your operational amplifier is going to be defined as 1 by 2 pi into RC. R is nothing but the combination of the resistances. Ri, input resistance with feedback, plus your R1 into your input capacitance is going to be your Ci. Input coupling capacitance is going to be Ci. So we denote Ci is the capacitance between the two stages being coupled. RIF is going to be the AC input resistance of the second stage. R0 is going to be the AC output resistance of the first stage or the source resistance. So here we are going to use it. The high cutoff, so low cutoff frequency is going to be influenced by the coupling capacitor there. So the high frequency cutoff or the high end of the bandwidth is going to depend on the closed loop gain of the amplifier. So here in this case, your FH is going to depend on the closed loop gain of the amplifier, and this FL is going to depend upon the coupling capacitor of the amplifier there. So here when I am going to use your coupling capacitance, it is not going to load the preceding amplifier. So when I am going to give your V in voltage, your preceding amplifier output is going to have a DC level, and this coupling capacitor will remove the DC level and it is going to prevent the amplification of that DC voltage there. So here your Ci, that is your input capacitance, will not have any effect on the output offset voltage. So here it is going to have an effect on the input offset voltage and the input offset current of your operational amplifier. Your output offset voltage is going to be present at the output of the amplifier. So because of this DC level, so suppose because there is going to be any drift, then the output is going to be distorted, and as a result there is going to be a variation in the amplitude of the input signals and the gain of the amplifiers. So here, how to reduce this offset voltage or output offset voltages by using a compensating resistor. Your compensating resistor or your offset minimizing resistor is nothing but ROM. ROM is nothing but the resistors that is going to be used at the non-inverting terminal there. So when I am going to use a minimizing resistor, that will see that the effect of the output offset voltage can be made to 0, or by using an offset voltage compensating network. Your offset voltage compensating network is nothing but between a pin number 1 and 5, I will be connecting a potentiometer with the value of 10K. Or I can use an output coupling capacitor C0 at the output side also. By using any one of this method, I can minimize the effect of your output offset voltage. So here your output capacitance C0, that is going to be used between the output terminal of your amplifier and the following stage there. So by using this C0, this is also going to affect the bandwidth of your amplifier. So here your closed loop gain of your AC inverting amplifier is going to be given as your AF is equivalent to minus RF by R1. That is nothing but the gain of your inverting amplifier there. So since the reactance of the CI, that is your input capacitance, is going to have the negligible effect on your bandwidth, within the bandwidth, you are going to neglect it. So here your closed loop gain of the non-inverting amplifier is going to be given as AF is equivalent to 1 plus RF by R1. So now we are going to see an AC inverting amplifier. So your AC inverting amplifier, we are going to construct an inverting amplifier, the minimizing resistor to be present at the non-inverting terminal there. So here to reduce the output offset voltage. So offset minimizing resistors and offset voltage compensating networks are going to be used to reduce the effect of your output offset voltages on the output of the amplifier. That is, when my input is 0, my output should be 0, but I will be having an output offset voltage there. To compensate for this output offset voltage, I will be using a minimizing resistors, offset minimizing resistors or offset voltage compensating networks. So here this ROM. So this ROM is nothing but a parallel combination of your R1 and RF. Is nothing but a minimizing resistor. This way, this is one way. Or other way is between your pin number 1 and 5. Here in this case, we can use your pin number 1 and 5 and use a potentiometer there. So this is your AC inverting amplifier. Next is your AC non-inverting. So in the AC non-inverting, again I am going to use a minimizing resistor. So or a compensating network there. So by using it, I can see that my output voltage is going to be 0 and my input is 0. So this is the coupling capacitor which I am going to use at the input side to block the DC components. Thank you. So here we will be seeing a problem there. In the circuit of the above figure, your AC inverting amplifier Rin is equivalent to 50 ohms. Ci is equal to 0.1 microfarad. R1 is equal to 100 ohms. RF is equal to 1K. RL is equal to 10K. And the supply voltages is equivalent to plus or minus 15 volts. Determine the bandwidth of the amplifier. So bandwidth is nothing but FH minus FL. So what is FL given in the problem? It is nothing but 1 by 2 pi into RIF plus R1 into Ci. So here it is nothing but 1 by 2 pi. RIF is given in the problem. So RIF is nothing but Ri. Your input resistance. It is your 100. Then plus R1. R1 is nothing but 100 ohms there. So here into Ci. Ci is nothing but 0.1 microfarad. So here we are going to substitute these values there. When I am going to substitute it, I am going to get the value to be 10.6 kilohertz. So here it is 100 into 0.1 into 10 power minus 6, that is what we have written. It is 10 power minus 7 there. So here we are going to have it. Your AF is equivalent to minus RF by R1. So it is nothing but minus 10. RF value is going to be your 1K, R1 is going to be your 100 ohm, that is nothing but minus 10. FH is equivalent to unity gain bandwidth into K by AF. So unity gain bandwidth is 10 power 6 into that is 1 megahertz is the unity gain bandwidth. So that into your K value is 0.909 by 10. So here in this case the value is going to be 90.9 kilohertz. So your bandwidth is nothing but FH minus FL. FH is 90.9 minus FL is 10.6 kilohertz. Subtracting it, we'll be getting 80.3 kilohertz. This is your, so here in this case your RIF is 100 ohms. Your R1 given in your problem is going to be here, your Rin is going to be 50 ohms there. So here it is your 50 ohms. Rin is equivalent to, Ra is equivalent to your 50 ohms. So it is 150 into 0.1 into 10 power minus 6. That is what we have got it here. Okay, thank you.